Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty interesting happening in entertainment. This sort of rise of really, really young stars.
Yeah, it's definitely a shift. And what really kicked off this thought process for us, I think, was Blue Ivy Carter. Her impact is just undeniable.
It really is. It's like she's become this focal point for seeing how things are changing,
Yeah.
how young talent is getting seen and getting influential, maybe faster than before.
Absolutely. It's like a lens on the whole entertainment machine and maybe culture itself.
Totally. We were listening to Chloe Decker and Tom Holland on the Next G AI pod recently, and
Okay.
they were really zoned in on this whole wave of young performers.
Yeah, they do great work on spotting those trends.
So our plan today is to sort of unpack that, look at what's driving this, maybe highlight some of these kids who are making waves.
And think about what it all means, right, for the future of entertainment, how we consume it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's start with Blue Ivy, like Chloe and Tom did. I mean, she's not even a teenager yet and already a Grammy winner, dancing on stage with Beyoncé on a global tour,
Yeah.
a fashion icon. It's a
A lot. It is. It's quite the resume already. What part of her journey really jumps out at you?
For me, it's this combination. Obviously, the family she comes from plays a huge role. You can't ignore that. But then there's her own visible, well, effort.
Hmm.
Chloe and Tom brought up her appearance on the Renaissance tour. The reaction online wasn't just, oh, look, it's Beyoncé's daughter. It was like genuine buzz about her performance, her confidence.
Right, people were talking about her putting in the work, nailing the choreography. There was a sense she earned that spot, even within that context.
Yeah. And that moment, I think, really highlighted this idea that maybe a new generation isn't just waiting in the wings, they're actively stepping up
Yeah.
with real intention.
That's a great way to put it. It's not just passive inheritance of fame, it's active participation, showing skill.
Yeah.
And, looking at the bigger picture, like Chloe and Tom did, you see maybe parallels with others, like Northwest finding her creative outlets, or even Prince Jackson stepping into his own projects. They're navigating similar paths, that public attention from day one, basically.
Which brings up that big question Chloe posed, didn't she? This tension between, okay, are these kids being pushed into the spotlight too soon, all that pressure,
Right, the potential downsides, the scrutiny.
or is this just how it is now? The natural way celebrity culture is evolving, especially with social media everywhere.
It's a real debate, isn't it? There's no easy answer. You think about childhood, privacy.
No intensity, yeah.
But on the other flip side, these kids are growing up immersed in this digital world where maybe the lines are just blurrier and the opportunities to create and, make an impact just arrive much earlier.
It's a different landscape than even 10, 20 years ago.
Completely different.
Okay, so let's broaden out a bit. Talk about some of the others who fit this new Blue Ivy's idea, the term Tom and Chloe used.
Right. The next wave.
They mentioned a few examples. First one was it name one? Described as like a 10-year-old taking over TikTok.
Yeah. And what's interesting there is the platform itself, isn't it? TikTok changes the game.
How so?
Well, you don't necessarily need the traditional gatekeepers anymore. A 10-year-old can literally build a massive following, influence trends, all directly from their phone. No studio backing needed initially anyway.
That's true. Direct connection to an audience. It creates a whole different kind of fame, almost.
Exactly. And different kinds of influence, very specific to those platforms.
Then they mentioned name two. Already landed a major ad campaign.
Which speaks volumes about their marketability, right? It's not just about views or likes, it's translating into actual economic power. Brands are noticing.
Yeah, these kids have serious pull with their peers, maybe even older groups too. It shows how marketing has to adapt as well.
Definitely. They're tapping into something authentic or perceived as authentic that resonates.
And then there was name three, already in blockbuster films. Big roles.
Now, that path, acting in films, is more traditional in a sense.
Sure, but the age seems younger for reaching that blockbuster level. The timeline feels crunched.
Accelerated, absolutely. What might have taken years for earlier generations seems to be happening much faster now for some of these young talent.
And underpinning all of this, Chloe and Tom really hit on the role of social media.
Oh, yeah. Crucial factor.
It's this double-edged sword, isn't it? Amazing tool for getting noticed, building a platform.
But then it also throws them right into the fire. Intense scrutiny, criticism, constant pressure to be on.
That's a lot for anyone, let alone someone still figuring things out. That balance seems incredibly hard to strike.
It really does. It highlights the need for, support systems.
Which leads perfectly to the next point they made, the importance of strong mentorship. They specifically pointed to Beyoncé and Jay-Z, with Blue Ivy.
Makes sense. Having people who've been through that whole fame machine, who understand the pressures, that guidance has to be invaluable.
Essential, I'd say. Offering perspective, protection,
Uh,
helping them navigate it all personally and professionally.
Absolutely. Without that strong grounding, it's easy to see how things could go off track.
So, thinking ahead, where does this all lead? Chloe and Tom threw out some possibilities, didn't they? Like more 10-year-old CEOs.
Yeah, and kid influencers with million-dollar brands. Does that feel like a stretch or?
Honestly,
Hmm.
given how fast things move now, especially online, it doesn't feel that far-fetched.
I agree. The digital age just speeds everything up. Entrepreneurship, brand building. Kids growing up now are digital natives. They get this landscape intuitively.
It really feels like the digital world is the amplifier for all of this. The
Yeah.
speed is just
Wow.
totally. The accessibility, the way content spreads like wildfire, you can achieve recognition and scale incredibly quickly. And this is the big but that Chloe and Tom kept coming back to. How do you balance it all
Right. Nurturing the talent, providing the opportunities.
while still letting them actually be kids, have some semblance of a normal childhood?
That's the tightrope walk, isn't it? And it feels like the responsibility isn't just on the parents or mentors. It's the industry, maybe even us as the audience, needing to be mindful of that.
Prioritizing their well-being. That's got to be central.
Yeah, has to be.
Well, this has been, yeah, a really interesting discussion to unpack. It's
Mm,
definitely echoes what Chloe and Tom were saying. If you're finding this conversation interesting, this whole area is one to keep an eye on.
for sure.
And it does make you stop and think. Who is your favorite young star right now? Who catches your eye and why? It's a good question to mull over.
It really is. And it makes you reflect on what we value, what draws us in, and how that might be shifting as this generation comes up.
So like Chloe and Tom said on their show, stay curious, stay awesome, and keep shining. Seems like a good note to end on.
Definitely. The story of young talent is clearly evolving fast.
And it leaves you wondering, what unexpected turns will this take next? How will these young individuals continue to shape not just entertainment, but maybe our broader culture?
A question for the future, I suppose. It's a powerful reminder that change is constant and influence can come from anywhere at any age.